Hey guys, it's Mo. I have Vulnerable Mondays with Mo. Vulnerable Mondays with Mo on a Thursday. Okay. So, Monday I talked about pivots and the importance of them and how sometimes our pivots can seem from the outside perspective as selfish, but they're necessary. And so today, I'll fix my light. That better. Oh, that's better. So, since then, since talking about pivots and being in my bubble, which I really have been in my bubble for months now. Um, I learned about some whispers of unkind talks about me around town, which is extremely hurtful because I would never talk negatively about anybody. And it just is like, it's brought up a lot of childhood trauma from being bullied when I was in middle school. I was heavily bullied in middle school, and it was like, it just fucking sucked. I lost my dad the summer before, and I just was a wreck. As is, I was grieving, I was finding my identity, I was feeling like I had to grow up quickly. And then I was bullied. I just didn't fit in. I absolutely hated going to school. And now that there's some rumors out there about me in town, and some whispers that I bring chaos and that I'm a manipulator and that I use people, it's hurtful because truthfully, I simply was just in fight or flight mode when I first moved here. I uprooted everything with my daughter and moved across country to find happiness and peace within myself. Little would I know that that was opening a gate to actually go through a healing, which I've never done before in my entire life. And so when that healing gate started, my 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 toxic patterns of my past did come up, and I did still take action in those toxic patterns because they were comfortable. So I had a lot of boyfriends, and yes, my daughter has seen her mom with 7 men. Yeah, 2 years, 7 men. Which, to be honest, just fuck it. I'm just gonna be honest. I was trying so hard to search for that soulmate, which is so dumb, but I wanted a happy ever after. Little would I know that my happy ever after would just be my kid and I. I was still very much in the space of low self esteem. I was not giving myself credit for how smart and intelligent that I am. And I allowed my failures over the last 2 years to really own me and keep to my identity. So, from the outside's perspective, I was chaotic. But to hear it from friends that you used to share drinks over with, it's hurtful. Try not to get emotional because I did my makeup today. But it was really hurtful a couple nights ago. I haven't been out in town, in my town, the small town I decided to move to, in a few months. I couldn't, I just couldn't play like everything was okay in my life. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't put a smile on my face and fake it anymore. I couldn't. I was going through some heavy things. And so I recently went out the other night, and people who I thought were friends obviously are not. I was getting a lot of dead looks. Like, if looks could kill, yeah. And I understand my failures and I understand my mistakes. But to hold it over someone who has been open from the start that she's a survivor, it really makes it that much worse. I'm constantly trying to see the good in people. I'm constantly trying to not judge a book by its cover because I don't want that for myself. That's why I'm so open and honest about the fact that I'm a survivor, that I was addicted to sex, that I had this brief moment of fame that literally took over me like a drug, and I made a lot of poor decisions in my 20s. But the reason I say all these things and the reason I'm so bold and open and somewhat crazy about talking about it is because no one else is. Everyone wants to put an illusion on how great their life is. I don't want to fucking do that. I want to be like, no, this is real. Yeah, this life I had was real. I'm not living in that space anymore, but I'm going to bring awareness to it. So that those who are in addiction, so those that are on their rock bottom, so those who feel like baby is in the fucking corner, know that someone's out there talking. Knows that someone is out there talking and bringing awareness of what it's really like to rise from the ashes. I'm so damn proud of myself for the woman I am becoming, the mother that I am becoming, the mother that I am. Because every little step that I take, big or small, cliff or not, is in the direction not only to break generational curses of my past, but toxic patterns and behaviors of myself that I've needed to work on for years, and I'm finally fucking doing it. You know, many of you know that I started my healing when Peyton was, my daughter, her name's Peyton, was almost 1 year old. And I was in a really dark place. Some things came up with my ex-husband that really just threw me to the wolves. And that's something you can listen to in another video. It's not the time to talk about it, but we were just really unhappy. You know, my ex and I were really unhappy. The illusions on social media looked like we were a perfect family and we were happy and that we were a beautiful family, but we were really unhappy. I wanted something out of them that he couldn't be, and he wanted something out of me I couldn't be. Simply enough. And it's taken a long time to get there because I tell you, if you've listened to my videos, I have shamed him. I have thrown him under the bus multiple times for the emotional damage that I felt when I left him. It's true. But we are now in our new year, and it's time to get over that shit because we have a child to raise, co-parenting style. So. But to hear the whispers, and some of them are really nasty. I'm not going to get into all the details of some of the whispers I have overheard, especially as I started to decide to come out in the public again in this small town, are really unkind. And it's really not fair. It's really not fair. Some of the people who are talking about me, I know some really dark secrets about them. I know some vulnerabilities about them, and I wouldn't tell a soul. But the moment I really fucked up, it's like, cut me off. No matter how I own up to my responsibilities, no matter how many times I own up to my actions, it wasn't enough. So I guess that's where you find out who your true friends are, right? Fuck up enough, especially in a small town, you're going to be put in the corner. I should have like a large A on my fucking shirt, like the scarlet letter, and walk around that way. That way everyone knows, oh, that's Monica. Oh, yeah, that's her. Yeah. You know, I genuinely just wanted to make friends. I want to be part of the community. And I was just in a really dark space still. I was still healing. And it feels like anyone who is talking about me doesn't understand what that fucking means. As a survivor of anything, trauma, trafficking, abuse, you name it, if you have survived literal pits of hell and you have walked out of hell to rise above the ashes and build a spiritual connection and build a new life and reinvent yourself, there's still a lot of heaviness that you're having to overcome. For example, trust. You don't trust a fucking single soul. No, you don't trust your boyfriends. You don't trust your girlfriends. You don't trust your friends. It takes a long time to start really actually trusting someone. And the trust comes by actions, not by words. You can tell me words all day long. You can promise me shit all day long. But the actions you take mean the world to me. And I have an amazing soul tribe. So I call them my soul tribe now, that the actions they have taken, even in my darkest of days, keep me moving forward. The same way I'm there for them, they're there for me, and that's all I need. Screw it. And that's some of what I've heard about the whispers, is that some of my soul tribe is here in town, and they have let me know of the nastiness that's going on with my name being run around in the dirt. And okay. And they're not doing it out of spite. They're not doing it to make me feel bad. They're doing it to encourage me to rise from the ashes and say, look, I've changed. And how can we evolve as humans if we're not changing, if we're not growing, if we're not making mistakes, if we don't burn the bridges? How are we ever learning anything in life? How are we being present? And the sad thing is too, is with all this heaviness that's happened and the truth really blossoming about who I am here, I've also learned that there was no grace. I was open and honest about what happened to me because there was no awareness of what trafficking or being a survivor really was in this town. And then it was dragged through the mud as though I'm playing victim. I would never play victim. No. Does it sound like I play victim sometimes when I say I'm a single mom, I'm a survivor, I'm trying to get shit done, I'm financially unstable? Sure, I'm naming negative things left and right, but I'm not a victim. I'm a warrior. And those who know me know I am. Recently I posted on my social media pages an apology. I owned up to my actions. I cried it out. I let them know what it's really like to go through healing. Ideally. People who listen to the 20-minute thing, awesome. People who didn't, it's not my place. But I did that. I wanted to show that type of vulnerability because we don't see enough of it. We're constantly in this illusion that everything has to be fucking perfect all the fucking time. My co-parenting is great. My life is great. I am a survivor with a fabulous business and I'm thriving. Great. Look at this. Look at that. Look at my hair. Look at my nails. Look how awesome my kid is. Why the fuck are we putting a checklist to everything to be so fucking perfect? Let's be real for a minute. Let's be real. I'm gonna be real. My house is a mess. I'm a clutter person. I like a mess. I feel safe in a mess. My house is a mess. I have a hard time trusting others. Yeah, I've seen so many times over when I've gotten vulnerable about my story, about my life, how many times over that is used against me as a way to bully me. Yeah, as a way to throw it back in my face, my own vulnerability. So I don't trust a lot of people. I'm a hermit. But the problem with this now is, now that I have worked on this healing, now that I have really put in the fucking work, and it's work. It is day by day handling the fucking demons in your mind that tell you that you're not enough, that you're a failure, that you're not going to be anything more, that men are going to continue to think of you as just some sexy snack than a woman. The demons are real. They are real. But I work through it every day. I work through it every day. I journal. Occasionally I do burn ceremonies. I use my crystals. I have opened up a spiritual side of me that I never knew existed, and I'm so happy to be here. Do I believe in God? Yes. But do I believe in spirituality and the universe and energies and vibrations? Yes. And it took a long time to get here, right now, to a moment where not only do I understand my boundaries, I understand my triggers, triggering words, triggering actions. I understand the person that I was before I walked down such a dark path. I'm starting to see her more and more in the mirror, and it is such an amazing feeling. So people can talk. But I'm no longer going to allow those whispers to control me to the point that my anxiety is so high, I don't even want to walk outside my house and enjoy life. Yeah. Knowing the whispers that have been going on, I have spent a few months at home. Out in my corner being a hermit. Yeah, I did have a relationship in this time too. Someone that felt really safe. The negative part is, the reality of that is though, though this person was safe and we had this beautiful moment together, what was selfish about it is I did not listen to my inner intuition that said, you are not ready. You weren't ready. You need this time to yourself. You need to continuously work on your feelings, your triggers. You need to heal. You need to grieve from your last relationship. And you need to move on and live. And now that I've cut ties all the way around and I'm alone, but I still have my soul tribe, but I am alone. I'm at a place where I was woken in this like very strong, powerful epiphany from my sister Brittany recently. And she goes, okay, you've done the work. You're rebuilding your brand. You're speaking your truth. You're showing vulnerability. Yes, you're doing all the things. You're checking the boxes. But Monica, when are you going to actually start living again? I was like, I've always lived. I tell people how reckless I was and how I was naive and I would jump off cliffs and I would try to swim and I've lived. She's like, no, you used to live. But now you've gotten so comfortable with not living, with living black and white, with living cautiously, with living in this comforted space, this bubble, you actually forgot how to live. And she's right. She's right. I've had this thing about living that had a very strict routine through all of this, through the last several years. I've had this strict rule that I needed to be home by 1 a.m. No matter what, 1 a.m. Because nothing good happened after 1. Which means my party, no matter how fun I may be having, by 12:30 at night, I better be figuring out if I need to Uber home, drive home, or what the plan is to get home by 1. Because the goal was I had to be walking through my front door at 1 a.m. Yeah, it's one of them. I had a rule that on weeknights is not the time to party. No, we have responsibilities the next day. So no need to celebrate anything. And if we do, let's be done by 9:30, 10. And some of us out there who may be listening is like, well, that's discipline. That's, keeping into a routine. Yes and no. Because I was so set in this routine, because I've been living so fucking cautiously for so long, I genuinely have forgotten how to live. I forgot what it really is like to dance in the rain. What really is it like to be a little bit wild from time to time, to let the eagle fly. I have no idea anymore. Because I've been so strict and so set in a routine and so set that, I'm never going back to who I was. I'm never going back to who I was. So how do you not go back to who you used to be? You cut it all off. You cut out the parties. You cut out the big group of friends. You cut it all off. Cut it all off and out of your life. But now I'm ready to live again, and I'm still feeling punished. But I made my bed, right? That's what they say. I made my bed. I'm like, you know what? I have made my bed. But there's so many people out there who are misunderstood and misinformed to who I am. That is what's pushing this energy of put baby in the corner. Do I appreciate all the help I got when I first moved here? 100%. Do I appreciate the regulars that would come through the bars that I absolutely loved pouring their alcoholic beverages for? 100%. Did I go through several different jobs when I first moved here? 100%. But guess what? Unlike a lot of you who were able to do that in their 20s and figure it out and be set in their 30s, I didn't. I went from one identity to starting to understand this new side, this new era of me, to being pregnant, to being a mother, to being a wife. My actual time of growth and evolvement and change didn't actually fucking start till I decided with my ex-husband that not only were we unhappy, but I'm going to move across country and figure out who the fuck I am. So where's the grace, right? I was just figuring out who the fuck I was. I know it's a small town, but I love this small town. Do you know why I love this small town so much? It's because it reminds me of the home I grew up in. And it's a place that I really want my daughter to know is home for the rest of her life. This is home for me. I've settled. Do I feel a little bit like I'm being pushed out? Sure. That's being human. Was I thinking of moving to another town nearby in the spring? I was. Yeah. I was in a place that I was ready to get out. But that's not living. That's running again. I'm tired of running. I have run away so many times over since I was a teen. Been running and running and running and running all my life until I was 29. And I said, I'm no longer running, and this is the last place I'm running to. This is where I'm going to call home. This is where I would like to be. And that's where I am right now. I'm no longer running. I'm no longer going to be in this space. So if you have something that, see, the thing is like, my mom used to tell me all the time, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all, because they always could get back to that person. Well, it has. It's gotten back to me. And the thing is I'm not going to let that stop me from living. I have some really, really good friends who have my back, who will hold my hand through my social anxiety that I have now to push me forward, to get me back to that place where I'm blossomed and blossoming. I am one hell of a firecracker, and I know it. I do. I'm a survivor not because I'm a victim. I'm a survivor because there is no one out there. There are very few people out there who speak the fucking truth about what it's like to heal, about what it's like to go through, what it's like to go through hell and still manage to live and get back to a place of good graces. Like I said in my apology the other day, on December 1st of 2015, I did want to die. I was in the space. I was in the emergency room. I wanted to die. I felt it. I was like, this is it. And God said to me, this is not it. This is not your end. You have a purpose. You haven't figured it out yet. You've been sidetracked and tempted and reckless. You have not been in your space yet, and you're not done. I'm still not done. I will have a successful coaching business. I will be successful in helping other businesses with marketing and advertising and communications. I will be a positive, successful entrepreneur, the entrepreneur I know I've always been. Because guess what? Yes, while I was going through the pits of hell, there are many people out there who had no idea that I was in hell. Yeah. I was running a business. I was an independent contractor for marketing. I was making a name for myself in other areas of my life, knowing that one day what I was in hell was going to end. So if you're upset that there's someone out there speaking a truth, okay, be upset. Is it going to silence me? Nope. Absolutely not. Because my voice isn't just my voice. My voice is this voice of the women and some men out there who are in a dark space and they need someone to know that that there is light at the end of the tunnel. That there's fucking light at the end of the tunnel. You keep going. You keep doing your healing. Healing journeys there's no timeline. There is no end date. There is no expiration in healing. Healing journey is the destination. A healing journey is the destination. You keep healing. You keep evolving. You keep changing. You keep recognizing triggers. You keep recognizing where you need to grow. You keep recognizing where your past is still part of your present and you need to let it go. That is healing. That's healing. You go through seasons of chaos. Well, guess what? The seasons of chaos are because you were comfortable with the chaos for so fucking long that you don't know any better. But it takes one rock bottom, sometimes two rock bottoms of that chaos to be like, no, fuck, I'm not going back there. I don't want to go back to that chaos. I don't want to be the chaos. I don't want that chaos. I'm going to be in me. That's what I'm doing. I'm being me. I took some time. Yeah. I didn't want to be out. I didn't want to shake hands. I didn't want the questions of, where do you work now? It's the now part, right? It's the now part that's really annoying when people are asked like, oh, so where do you work now? It's like that reminder like, oh, you've changed jobs so many times. Yeah, I did. Let's figure out who I was. For the first time, I had the freedom. I have a tattoo of it to figure out who the fuck I was. I wasn't tied to anything or anyone for that matter. And my ex-husband and I, we are starting on a path of becoming better than we have been for our kid. But I'm finally in a space where it's no more. I'm claiming success. I'm claiming that I am a good mom. I have sacrificed everything for her, and I still will for the rest of her life, because that's what being a parent is sacrifice. The same way being an entrepreneur isn't sacrifice. It's no 9-to-5 job as an entrepreneur. It's sometimes 12, 16, 18-hour days. It's sometimes waking up at 3 a.m. because you have an idea, and if you don't jot it down or put it in your computer immediately, you fear that you're going to forget it. And as a survivor, there are so many fears that we are faced every fucking day, but we push through. We push through our addictions. We push through everything, but there is a space where we now are in a black and white, comfortable routine that we are living cautiously. And that's what I want to get out is like, we are going to be living cautiously because we've survived, but don't live too cautiously that we forget to live. Because that's where I am right now. I've lived too cautiously for so long, I have forgotten to live. I have forgotten that it's okay that at night when your kiddo is with her dad, that you go out and you have the best time of your life. It's okay to do that. Did you know that? Because I didn't. I have been living so cautiously, fearing that my addictions would arise, fearing that people of my past would come and tell me that they found me. I don't know. That sounds silly. But nonetheless, I'm going to start living. And the whispers out there, those really unkind whispers, it's not the first time I've been told I'm a shitbag. Yeah, I said it. It's never stopped me, though. Never stopped me. It's just made me push harder to be a better person, to continue to evolve and change. It's not the first time I've been told that I use people. It's a really hard one. It's hard to hear that because people use me all the fucking time. Use me as a listening ear, use me to understand their emotions, use me as a nurturing space, and then when they're done, they move away. They're done. They cut me off. So it's funny to hear that I am the one that's using others. So many times in my life, yeah, especially in my past, I was fucking used. And I brought that up the other day. Yeah, I sold myself for sex. Yes, I was imprisoned. Yes, I had men who fucking controlled me. Yes, I was in a space in my head that I was like, fuck it, this is who I am. This is all I'm gonna be. Fuck it. I'm just a sexy snack. Yeah. But no more. No. I'm a mother. I'm an entrepreneur. I own my own business. I'm a human trafficking advocate and public speaker. I am a friend to those who want me to be in their life. I'm an animal lover. And I'm a warrior. I'm a goddess. I'm a queen. I love myself. Yeah, I'm all those things. And it's taken a long time for me to get there, to look you in the eye and say, this is who the fuck I am. And I'm so happy to be here. Because how I used to say who the fuck I was an illusion of what was pushed on me and pressured me to be as a trending topic in the modeling industry. All that was illusion. All that was, I was being told how my identity was supposed to be and how I was supposed to be, how I was supposed to act. Now, no one's telling me shit. I am beautiful. I'm a goddess divine. I'm a wonderful mom. I'm a nurturer. And as one of my best friends tells me, did you badass today? Because I'm a badass. One of my friends tells me, are you a badass? I'm like, yes, I am a badass. She's like, that's right. Damn straight. You are. You are a badass. You are a badass. I'm a badass. You're a badass. We can get through any of our trials and move forward in life. Just be kind. Use some grace. We're all fucking human. We all have demons. We all have things and places and grievances that carry baggage behind our back at all times. Just because one person's baggage looks heavier than the other doesn't mean that there's a big difference or that there needs to be a fucking competition of it. Be human. Be kind. Fuck. Just be kind. Thanks for listening. Have a beautiful day. Bye, guys. Stay a badass.